97.9 GRD Rocks. Johnnie Walker with you this afternoon with a special guest. We announced a show very, very recently that's coming up December 1st, Kalamazoo State Theater. It's going to be a great show. In Flames, Hellyeah, From Ashes to New, Kalamazoo State Theater. It's going to be fantastic. Get all the details, WGRD.com. Make sure you get your tickets. You don't want to miss this show. On the phone, I have a special guest. I have Anders from In Flames. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I can't wait to play that show. I can't wait to tour. I'm really looking forward to coming over to America again.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun to have you guys here. This will be probably second time seeing you guys. I think I saw you years ago at a very small show.
Oh, then it's about time again.
Yes, definitely time again.
Yeah.
So you guys have a new album called Battles, came out today. It's your first time recording in California. How was that experience?
Amazing. It was really good. I mean, we had a lot of fun, and we worked with an outside producer for the first time, Howard Benson and his team, and it was great. I mean, it was 25 degrees Celsius and barbecue and beer and heavy metal 24/7. So nothing to complain about.
Didn't have to worry about the cold back in Sweden?
No. I mean, the previous album was recorded in November in Berlin, and this was recorded in a nice summer weather, at least for us. I guess it was like spring or something for the Californians, but for us it was warm enough.
Now, for people who don't do it, how does recording in a different environment like that, going from like the cold in Berlin recording the last album to nice weather in California, how does that affect your mindset when you're writing and recording the songs?
I mean, I don't think you think about it as much, but it does really get into you. I mean, especially, I can't really compare it to when we recorded our last album. We lived in an apartment called Kreuzberg. It took us like 25 minutes to walk to the studio, and we walked past, bricks on the floor saying like this person got deported here or this person got shot here. Berlin in general, I mean, it's a heavy cultural city, and a lot of things have happened there. And that got into the album for sure. And then being here now in California, it's just like it's a warmer feeling in general. And I hope people can hear that on the album, definitely. So yeah, I'm happy we went there. And Howard Benson was such an amazing guy to work with. Going into this, it's like I don't want to change you guys. I just want to make you better at what you do, and so that we perform as good as we possibly can when it's time to do our takes. And yeah, I mean, we got 15 songs done and 12 are on the album, and I'm super pleased. I'm excited that people get to hear it.
Now, you hear that with a lot of producers. They come in and they start, tailoring the songs and adjusting things. There's some producers who are like really, really well known for that. Did Howard come in and try any of that? Did he say, hey, like shorten this, make this like this, make this simpler, make this more complex? Or did he just kind of let you guys do your thing?
Well, he let us do our thing, but of course, I mean, we see him a lot like a filter, a guy that we bounce ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could come in and say, well, this riff here, it's already good after 15 seconds. You don't have to play it a minute, stuff like that. Or he wanted me to explain the lyrics. What do you mean, sort of, what do you want to say? And that is stuff I never had to do before. I could do it on my own. I got away with a lot of things. Now we had someone like him with his extensive catalog of all his work that, but he didn't say that we should change this, change that. Then it was, and going into, you don't know. I mean, since we never done this before, you kind of were a bit worried that this big shot producer should come in and turn you into something that you're not, but not at all. He just made us perform as good as we possibly could.
Now, do you think this was the perfect time to bring in someone from the outside? I mean, you guys have had a strong evolution. Like the first album I got from you guys was Colony. And if you listen to Colony compared to the stuff that you hear now from, like the stuff that we've heard from Battles, The Truth, and The End, there's a big change, but there's still, even back from the Colony days, back from the early days, everything had that Swedish melody to it. There's a lot of Swedish bands. They're heavy, but there's still that melody. And you guys have progressed through the years with the style. Do you think now is the perfect time to bring in someone from the outside?
I mean, looking now at the result, I think it was a perfect time. Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad that you say that you hear that melody still in there, because that's the most important thing for us. That's where we start the song, really. Try to find the best possible melody, and that's something we always had. And all our albums, they do sound different. We never said something like try to get away from that, but every song or every album, they are like written like 2-3 years in between. And because we don't write on the road, we've tried a few times, never worked out really. Mm-hmm. But we had to have a date for the album, and then we start writing. So they are different, and obviously the environment and who's recording or not, that makes it different. But the melody, that's the first and the most important thing. And I believe that we have that. That's the most proud thing I will be proud of when this whole thing is over and I look back in my career. People go like, well, we had a sound, we did something, like, I don't know. People recognize it even if they put on Battles or if they put on Luna Strain or Colony or whatever. But still, they hear it in Flames. It doesn't sound like anyone else, even though we're not like, we're big in a big pool of heavy metal, of course. But yeah.
I'm talking with Anders from In Flames. Talking about the melody, it makes me wonder, where does all that melody come from in the Swedish metal? Is it from listening to all that ABBA growing up?
Well, I guess it's got in there somehow, and Swedish folk melody. But what we did, we took inspiration from German thrash and speed metal and new wave of British heavy metal with Priest and Maiden and the thrash scene, Slayer, Metallica, Testament, and so on, and then we blend it with like Morrisound, the death metal coming out of Morrisound of Florida, especially, and that put that in a blender and whatever this thing was born. And then obviously we've grown since then, but I still love those albums that we did back in the day.
Well, not only do you have the new album Battles out today, but you've also had a new live album come out from the big venue, the Scandinavium in your hometown of Gothenburg. Yeah. How did that show go?
It was amazing. I'm so happy that we documented that night. That venue is so special. Like when I grew up listening to metal, that's where all the big bands came through: Metallica, Mötley, Judas, Maiden, and everyone came through that venue. So it's an honor that we can play that these days. And it was an amazing night at the end of that tour. And now knowing that it was Daniel, our drummer. He's not with us anymore, so it's nice to document knowing that he's part of that, as well. So. Yeah.
Now, before we talk about your new drummer, how does it feel? Does it feel kind of weird, like when you talk about, all these big bands played the Scandinavian, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica? Does it feel weird to hear people throw your name in that list as well?
I don't know. I mean, if it happened just overnight, whatever. I mean, we've been doing this for such a long time and grow in small steps. And we played this venue before where we sort of missed the opportunity to record there, and now we said we have to. But again, it's so hard to realize everything when you're in the bubble. Maybe a few years down the line, and I look back at the career, it's be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's when you're up in it, it's hard to stop and think.
Now, you guys have had a few lineup changes through your career. The most recent one is your drummer did leave the band, and you've just recently got Joe Rickard in the band.
Yeah.
How did that come up? How did you find him, and what was the process of getting him? Because he's on the new album to play with you guys, right?
He's recorded the new album, and he's done an incredible job, I would say. But Daniel, we got to talk about Daniel a bit first, because he left us. He told us like he wanted to be home with his family more. He got a wife and 3 daughters, and wanted to spend more time with them, and which is a legitimate reason, But it was a big blow for us when he announced it, but nothing yet you can argue with. And he's been with us for 18 years, so obviously it's tough to replace a guy like that. So we went to California without having a drummer. We didn't want to have anyone, have someone in the way when we wrote the album, sort of adapt to their playing style and stuff like that. Then we thought there'd be a lot of studio musicians in LA anyway, so we can just use someone there and then get some auditions going when we're back home later on. But Joe, he was working in the studio with Howard, and Howard said you should try him out. And Joe was there helping us with some programming, and he said, "Can I give a shot? And can I play some drums?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure, do it." And then they start hitting the drums, so we were like, "Wow, that guy hits hard," and he was really persistent and dedicated. And And he continued like that through the recording. We was, we like, move on, next song. And he was like, I want to perfect it. I want to do this great. And we were like, okay, that's the right attitude. And then we had a few beers with him outside of the studio, and he was just all awesome guy, really calm. Reminded me in many ways in Daniel, but a younger version. And then after the recording, we asked him, you recorded this, do you want to be part of the game, and do you want to tour with us, be part of In Flames? And he said, yeah. And that was that. It was like the smoothest replacement ever, and nothing that we expected, but, I'm so happy that he's part of this now. And
that's really cool that you didn't have to go through the whole long audition process and look at a bunch of people and subject anybody to that or yourselves.
That's a drag. You don't want to do that. I mean, sometimes it's necessary, but this was so smooth. It's amazing that it happened this way, really. So, yeah.
I'm on with Anders from In Flames on 97.9 GRD. Before the album came out today, you guys had released a few songs in advance as a teaser for the new album.
Yeah.
And the videos of these two songs, you released The End and you released The Truth. Now, these videos, kind of the style of the video, and it looks like it's a continuing story from The End, which has the guy playing the video, like the first-person shooter perspective, to The Truth, which has kids setting the gamers free and deprogramming their minds. Was that a conscious thing from you guys, or was it brought to you by the directors of the videos? How did that work?
It's a collaboration with us and the director, particularly. He worked with us since, I think, A Quiet Place. What's like that, 13 years ago, something? Oh, I don't know, back many years, anyway. So he's done most of our videos. And, we wanted to do something slightly different, and we didn't want to do a regular performance video. And, you have real big gamers. We love playing video games, too, like first-person shooters, so Call of Duty, stuff like that. And so the first video has that feeling, but it is somewhat more deep. It has these kids that are controlling these, like, murdering machines or whatever you want to call it. And then we have a group of kids kidnapping these kids to do this, and then we have another group of kids trying to deprogram, as you said, and just free them from this. And I guess it's a really look into our society and a reflection of where we are and where we're going.
Does the album have a theme throughout, or they're just certain songs that are connected loosely, or was there a plot to run as a theme throughout the whole album?
No, battles. When I write the lyrics, I don't have titles. When I sort of have to look through everything, and after the recording is done, and then I just felt in general it's about all the songs have this theme of the inner battles, the inner struggles that we have, and that we carry with us. Everyone does, like from them they're really young up until the day we die, basically. And it's important that we deal with the past, that we can embrace the future and don't miss opportunities that are around us. So it's something that everyone can relate to. It's nothing super new where people will go like, oh shit, I never heard this before, but it's just something that's close to me, and I think I can connect with the fans that are interested in the lyrics and so on.
Well, Anders, thank you for joining us to talk about the new album and the tour. We will see you here, Kalamazoo State Theater, December 1st with Hellyeah and For Masters Anew. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you much for having me, and thanks for the support. See you guys out there.
Pick up the new album from In Flames. It's called Battles. It's out today, and get to know it because they're going to be here December 1st with Hellyeah, Kalamazoo State Theater. Get all those details, WGRD.com. Right now, let's play the new one from In Flames. It's called The Truth. Crank it up nice and loud. 97.9 GRD rocks.